I think we're convoluting the two things though, because there's what
Yeah,
we look for in a person, and then
right,
how old would that person be that we're
right.
looking for
Yes,
it in. So
yes,
we
and
don't
you
want
know
to
what?
mix those two.
Okay.
I'm glad
It's
I'm
still a
glad you
check.
said that because it's almost a given when it comes to the physical attributes. I think regardless to what age you're at, even if you're 25, you're not going to really want a 30-year-old who's way out of shape or doesn't kind of fit those things. But
Mhm.
assuming that the physical stuff is there, obviously when you get older, the physical stuff, whether it's there or not, depends kind of on the age in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Because
so
Because
I
like
get where
here's
you're
what
coming from,
yeah,
but
because
I'm
just
thinking like this.
assuming.
Like for
not
Ian,
everybody. That's why I said 60 is going to be would be my max because there's not too many people past 60. Sadly, that I see nowadays.
Right.
People are aging fast, bro.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
People
Ian,
out
let me ask
here.
you this. Ian, let me ask you this. And this is kind of I think what the conversation what we're saying. So like you meet this woman, she hits all your criteria, right? Physically, mentally, everything is there, right?
Right.
She's 32.
Yes. Thank you, B. There you go.
I can't.
It's
I,
deal
I
breaker. You're done.
I
It's
can't. I can't because one, I'm a father of daughters to start with,
right.
and you know, I can say I've had a relationship with somebody 20 years younger than me that similar to what Felicia and Dee started out with. It wasn't. No one. Neither one of us considered that would even become serious because one, the age difference, and two, she lived in Virginia at the time, and I'm up here. It ended up lasting for like 3+ years, and I had to end the relationship because one, she wanted children, and I knew that. But even
Right.
though we went in knowing, look, I ain't doing no more kids. I ain't changing no diapers. I ain't trying to do that no more.
Right.
So, so we knew it was very limited. Our relationship was going to be right. But then I did vibe with her. She's very mature and very and but I did not want for her. I sincerely did not want for her not to realize herself as a mother. So
Right.
I put it off because I sincerely loved her. And I was like, I want you to have that experience. And thankfully, she's going to have that experience. She's, engaged to be married or married at this point, and she'll have that experience. But she wouldn't have, I, it would have ended up in probably in resentment or something. I wouldn't want that for her
Yeah.
to not realize that I'm
Yeah.
a father already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want that for her. So, but
That's a tough space.
I couldn't do that. But even still, I can't have a woman younger than my daughter. I can't. I don't even know how. I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. I'm not even going to try to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even. Nah.
Vina, did you say what your youngest would be at this point? You said it already?
A few years, so maybe
Few
like
years. Okay.
45,
Yours is kind of
44.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I would say this: if I was not married, right? So Faith and I happen to be basically the same age. So, but put like this: before I was married, those of you who know me prior, before I was in a relationship with somebody who was way older than me, in my 20s. Now I ain't gonna get too specific, you know what I'm saying, out of respect, but I did have, and it was interesting because it wasn't planned. And I met her when I was in my mid 20s, and she was a lot older than me. You know what I'm saying? We're talking almost 20 years. And didn't start off planning to be in a relationship, but what's crazy is that the biggest mind f, if you will, sometimes if you meet somebody who's way different as far as the age range, but then you vibe together. And to everybody's point, yeah, it just depends on how you end up vibing together. And sometimes the age part doesn't really matter. As obviously, again, if you're both pleased with each other physically, but then you have these issues as to whether you have kids. I didn't have any kids at the time, obviously, and she had a kid. So I think those issues come into play when you're at different points in your lives. So that becomes a big thing. But in current day, So 20 years is kind of extreme because you end up having those issues unless you're into your 40s maybe and you already both have kids. So right now, I don't know if I would do 20 years older, but yeah, I don't know if I would do 20 years older. Maybe the same thing. Maybe 10 years or so might be cool. You know what I'm saying? Because usually 10 years, you're not that far out of the realm. But listen, I'm 40, what am I, 46? There's some bad 65-year-olds, but some of them are on their last couple years being looking bad.
Geritol.
So
Geritol.
so if you catch a 65-year-old, you know she got about a calm couple more years, you know,
Not a calm couple.
maybe. And that's the exception to the rule. Those are the Angela Bassett's, you know what I'm
Before
saying?
the hair
So,
start turning blue.
but
Oh no! Wait a minute.
nah, but to your point, I'm gonna say that the youngest. Here's the thing too, though, because there's a lot of
Savvy,
guys.
like, what you talking about?
Who are our age, you know, going after really young women, and I'm like, you can see somebody
Get my
who's
hair
bad,
done
who's like
tomorrow.
20, who's like 25, but you know, here's the thing, and I want DJ to rock too, because DJ, we haven't said anything. Here's the thing. And I'm sure here's the whole thing, Ian. I know that I respect what you're saying about your daughter. I feel you. You know, I don't have a daughter that old, but the other factor is that it depends on the type of man you are. Some men don't care about the stuff that's coming out the woman's mouth, right? I care. So the problem is I get turned off if I see somebody I'm 46, right? And I see a woman who's 23, 24 that look good, but I hear the shit that's coming out of their mouth, and I'm like, as soon as they start calling me bro, bro,
Listen,
you want to go,
single niggas put people.
bro?
Listen, let me put y'all. Listen.
Shit is
I
just
can
crazy.
look, but that's about as far as I
We
can
are
go.
not that far removed, right? Single men, women, they put y'all. Everybody put motherfuckers in category, like you said. If I see her, she got a nice body. Da 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 da. We have one thought. Next thing, she start talking like she ain't never made it out of fucking second grade. Then we have another thought. Then you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Over.
oh, like I'm hollering at you in your 20s, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me try. And then all of a sudden, the verbiage is like you fucking type in shorthand, and you just like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna smash, and then I'm gonna move on. You know what I'm saying? Like you could.
But there's some dudes who could deal with that. See, me personally, if I was single, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm a man. Maybe I would. But the problem is that, you know, for me, it's about the thing that turns me on also is that a woman has to be able to speak intelligently to
say a
an
fucking
and
sentence.
say a sentence. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these 24-year-olds, they talk like they 16. Then I feel like a pedophile now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why even in my 20s, when I was in my 20s, I was kind of attracted to slightly older women. So, you know, I had the relationship with somebody who was way older. Then I also had some dealings with women who were like in that range, like 10 years older, 7 years older, and that was like a good spot for me, you know.
He out there chilling with Stella. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, we had some Stellas in the building, but
Stella.
you know what it was? It was because of just the calmness and being able to talk. 'Cause if you start talking
Hey,
younger,
Stella learned him something, y'all. Don't get it messed up. Stella done learned him something.
everybody had a Stella in their 20s, yo. Listen. If you didn't, you ain't lived though. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Did I?
But I'm gonna switch it up. I want to switch it up because I also want us to get into the other subject matter. I want to talk about, and all of y'all, we gonna keep it real over here because I always keep it a buck.
Let DJ chime in a little bit. He
Damn,
hasn't really said nothing.
I'm neglecting you.
DJ look like a
DJ. You
look
look,
like
anybody told you favor what's my man name?
Dougie Fresh.
Dougie Fresh. Yeah.
Okay.
Dougie
No,
Fresh.
never got that.
Andre's Power.
Not quite,
Didn't get that one.
but kind of.
Andre's
See a little
Power.
young jock. See a little young jock.
DJ look like he just passed puberty.
Not young
yesterday.
Jock. Oh wow.
Nah,
DJ look
I'm-
young as hell. How old are you, DJ?
48.
No shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you the same
That's
age.
that black not
I'm
cracking,
48
baby.
too.
Word
Yeah.
is born. I
DJ, what's the
swear he
young,
look like
what's the youngest you going, fam?
Oh God.
he gonna tell himself. If he hear DJ,
You got to talk up
Right.
a little more too.
Go ahead, DJ.
Um,
26. Say it.
No, nah. I would say like 34. That's the youngest.
Okay.
34.
What's your oldest?
Somewhere around 50. Young 50s.
You want to date somebody in the 80s?
really?
Nah. That's my
Nah.
mother.
What
This
about 60?
Nah.
Hell,
Badass 60.
Nah. Nah.
Flat stomach, got that bank account.
Nah.
Oh wait,
Rub
isn't
your
it
hair, take your glasses
almost
off.
60?
No.
Halle
Nah.
is like in her 60s, right? Halle Berry, y'all wouldn't date Halle?
No.
Look,
He made it easy for me not to date
Yeah,
her.
you round up to 60.
He had all these attractive men, and they all did something on her. She was the problem, not them.
she was most definitely the common denominator.
She is definitely
Yep.
the problem.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
She was definitely the problem.
You don't look that good and run through that many good men.
You
Girl,
can say when if every relationship end bad that
All
she's in,
of them?
it ain't the men.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look up
All
how
of them?
old Erica
That means
Badu
the kind
is.
of guy that she's choosing, though.
I
She's
mean,
the
that's
problem.
her. Yeah, she's the problem
It's
in
not
her
blaming the guy.
relationship.
If all your relationships end up going bad and they all have the same story,
Oh, 54. Okay.
this you.
No, it was
Like,
definitely her, but I
you have
think
to
it
live
was
with your
intentional.
choices.
I still think it was intentional. I don't think it was like a fuck up. I just think it was intentional.
Hmm.
I don't think she wanted to be with motherfuckers that long.
I
Mhm.
think she was just picking the wrong guys. That's it.
I think
Her
makes
pickers
sense.
off.
But it